All right, so life is full of choices. And tonight I had the choice of cleaning the hanging light fixtures in my kitchen and prep for having house guests for Thanksgiving, or making this video to talk about makeup that's going to be a part of Black Friday sales. And we're here, so you know how that turned out. Hey, one of you asked for another tutorial on Mothership 10 from Pat McGrath Labs, and I had to deliver on that, okay? I mean, I had an obligation. So, we're going to be talking about this today. We're also going to be playing with some of the new products that I have already picked up in Black Friday sales, including the Natasha Denona Concealer, and I'm going to be using some of my new Black Friday sale BK Beauty brushes during this video. So if that all sounds good to you, then let's get into it. So like I said, tonight I am going to be working on eye looks with Mothership 10 from Pat McGrath Labs. Sephora is going to have Pat McGrath Labs on sale for 30% off on Black Friday. So this is a great time to create some looks. I've already created 2 looks in a previous video, and tonight I'm going to do 2 more, and then we'll get into some complexion products. So starting off with Mothership 10, in case you haven't seen it, this is what she looks like. She is probably my favorite Mothership, and the one that I go to when I am going to a party. So, if you're looking for some inspiration for your upcoming holiday parties, or just an excuse to buy this palette on Black Friday, then we are going to get into the first look, starting with Rosewood Romantique in the crease. So tonight what I wanted to do is I create these looks, and I already have eyeshadow primer on, by the way. That is the Rare Beauty eyeshadow primer, and I will link everything in the description box below in case I forget to mention anything. And I'm using here my Rephr 15 brush, which is one of the standard brushes that I always use when I'm doing my transition shade and crease work. So, this first look, what I wanted to do was really sort of marry the ideas from the 2 looks that I did in the other video that I just published, and put those together into one look, and then create another look that is very silvery, because metallics are so huge this holiday season in terms of outfits. So one eye is going to have a little bit of gold, and the other eye is going to have a whole lot of silver, depending on what your metallic preferences are. Okay, so that is Rosewood Romantique worked in the crease, and now I am going to take a Rephr 1 mini brush, which is sort of flat and wide, and I am going to go into Extreme Nocturne to deepen up the crease. So let me get a little bit closer here. So I'm just going to pat that in, really focusing on the outer corner. And once I kind of have that where I want it, then I am going to start to work that up into the crease a bit more and above the crease line, which I'm doing now. And as with all Pat McGrath Lab shadows, you really want to start lighter and build, because her shadows are so pigmented. You don't want to end up in a situation where you're trying to take away. So just looking at a different angle here, I think I want to add a little bit more of that Rosewood Romantique. I don't want to lose that color in the crease. I just wanted to deepen it up. Okay, and now that we have that beginning sort of structure down, I am going to take my Pat McGrath Labs Intensifies Stick, and this is a product that just sort of clicks up. It's clear, and this is great for helping your eyeshadow last longer, also keeping from there being transfer to your upper lid if you have hooded eyelids. So I'm going to put this on, and hopefully it also helps with fallout. Okay, so as I said, I'm sort of marrying the ideas from the first video I created, which means that first I'm going to go in with this VR Sextasy here, which is probably the most unique shade in this palette. And I am going to sort of tap that over kind of the outer portion of my lid there, over that Extreme Nocturne, and kind of going even up into the crease a bit with the tip of my finger. I do have a little bit of fallout. It's really because I grabbed so much. I get excited when I'm going into the shadows, I have to admit. Okay, so now to this, I want to add gold. So I am going to grab this Astral Gold down here. That's not what it's called, but it is sitting in the Blitz Astral area. I cannot remember what it's called, I have to admit. So I am going to put that kind of on this inner portion here, not going all the way to the inner corner, but marrying that up with the VR Sextasy. And obviously we want to create a nice fade between these two shades. So I'm kind of playing with that a bit, grabbing a little bit more VR Sextasy, and even tapping in a little bit with that gold. And now what I want to do is grab, this is a nice flat brush that is the KJH Collection with Spectrum, and I am going to grab this Asterisk Lilac here for more of sort of the inner corner to lighten that up. Again, I want to have a nice transition, and I'm sort of swooping this up even above that gold shade up towards that combination of Extreme Nocturne and Rosewood Romantique. And I think that blend looks pretty good. I am excited about the way that looks. I am going to grab a makeup white because I did have some fallout. I'm going to call that user error, okay? Because, like I said, I do like to grab quite a bit of product. So I'm going to clean up underneath there. And now to help ensure that I have the shape that I want, and I'm just actually going to take a paper towel and sort of dab that a little bit underneath. Okay, I am going to do what I always do, which is grab my Endless Cacao pencil from Makeup Forever, and I am going to run that along the lower lash line about halfway in, no more. Okay. And again, this just kind of helps me determine if I have the right line to create the shape that I want. And I'm pretty happy with that. So I'm also going to grab an eyeliner from Pat McGrath Labs. This is her Black Coffee eyeliner. And I'm going to add a little bit of that towards the outer corner of the upper lash line. And I'm not really creating a wing, but I am making it thinner towards the outside. Okay. And I think I need to clean up a bit more. Now, I have to tell you, if you hear any weird sounds or talking in the background, I do have a 15-year-old son who is presently gaming with his friends, and sometimes that can get pretty rowdy. If you're in that same boat, I'm sure you know. But I'm happy that he is enjoying his Thanksgiving break with his buddies. I hear the craziest things. These worlds that they're playing in online. Okay, so that is for the most part where I would take this up to the point of mascara. I'm going to do mascara on both eyes at the same time. So I am going to go ahead and build the eyeshadow look on the other side before I take a break to do mascara and then complexion. So for that, and just for the sake of simplicity, I am going to start building with that same Rosewood Romantique shade here. Boop. In the crease. If there's one sort of complaint that I have about this palette, it's that these two matte shades, well, there are only there's only three matte shades in this palette. One of them is Extreme Nocturne, which is that sort of blackish brown. And then the other two are these, plummy mauve-y colors. They're pretty similar to one another. And it probably would have been better for Pat to include maybe sort of a different tone so that you'd have more options in terms of the eye looks that you build. But I do use both of them at different times. Sorry, I can't help but go over here and sort of work on this blend a little bit more, even though they're going to be two totally different eye looks. Okay, I am going to use the same second shade as well, which is that Extreme Nocturne in the outer corner. Now, I'm thinking these looks are going to look different. I actually have not done these looks side by side, so we'll see how different they really look on the eyes. And I've been playing with lighting a little bit, trying to get lighting to a place where you can really see the colors the best. So hopefully this setup facilitates that. I am going to take this further in than I did on the other side, because this is going to be a darker, smokier eye. So I'm really working that into the crease and pat that down a little bit more. I'm going to put another shadow on top of this on the whole spectrum of it. So it doesn't need to be perfect all the way through, but I am grabbing a little bit more to make sure that that outer corner is as deep as I want it. And of course, I can always add more. Okay, I think that is where I want that. And now And I cannot recall the name of this shade, but this is, and I hope you can really see this here, it's sort of like a pewter shade. It is a metallic, as I said. Oh, almost forgot the Intensify stick. So I'm going to run that along the length of this to hang on to some of that. And now I'm going to tap that pewter over the center of the eyelid. I'm hearing like threats of like death from the video games that they're playing. Oh, Lord. Oh, parent of the year. That's what I'm going for here. Okay, so, wow, I think that is a really nice contrast between those two different looks. So you can see here, this one's much smokier. It is that deep silver, pewter, metallic. And I am going to lighten that up just a bit on the inner corner. Once again, I am going to grab my trusty little KJH brush and the same shade that I used on the inner corner over here, which is that Blitz Astral Lilac shade, because I think it's going to look so beautiful with this silver. So concentrating that on the inner corner and then sort of tapping above the silver, the pewter, sort of swooping up. Okay, and I think I'm going to grab a little bit more of that to go a little bit further over. Okay, wow, I really like that with the pewter. I've used that shade quite a bit, but I haven't done it where it's essentially the entire eye. So I'm going to, again, take my little paper towel here and pat that. And once again, excuse me, drink break. Once again, grab my Endless Cacao from Makeup Forever and just run that along the lower lash line about a third to a halfway in. And now I'm going to do the same even on the upper lash line, which is add a little bit of this Pat McGrath Labs Permagel eyeliner in Black Coffee to about the outer thirds, definitely no more than halfway in. And again, not doing a wing, but making it a little bit thicker towards the outer corner. I'm actually thinking of even going bolder along the lash line over here just to really build that difference. Okay, so we are all the way up to mascara here. I am going to apply mascara and I will be right back. All right, gang, I am back. I have applied mascara to the top and the bottom. And on the top, I used Pat McGrath Labs Dark Star Mascara. And on the bottom, I used Clinique Bottom Lash Mascara. And now I just want to take a sort of felt tip style eyeliner and apply that to the top waterline of both eyes. On this eye, I'm really going to focus this on the outer corner because I do have, I think, more of sort of a cat shape going here. And on this side, I'm actually going to apply it all the way across, including, blink, including the inner eyelid, the inner corner. Okay, This takes a little bit more concentration here to not make a huge mess. But I'm doing this on this side just to make it a little bit more dramatic because it is just that pewter shade. So got that down there. And let's see, the other thing that I'm going to do is I am going to take the Pat McGrath gel liner on this eye, and in the outer corner, really concentrating out there, putting this in the waterline. So now, overall, it is just a darker, smokier look. And I want to kind of work that into the lashes down here a little bit. Okay, and then on the other eye, I am going to take my Victoria Beckham pencil that is designed for the waterline. This is sort of a creamy white, and I'm going to run that all along the bottom waterline and see how that just sort of changes the effect. Okay, so now we are ready to get into complexion products. And so for this, I have pulled a couple of Pat McGrath products and a couple of Natasha Denona products. So for Black Friday, as I said, Pat McGrath is going to be 30% off at Sephora on Black Friday. And then Natasha Denona has a sale that's been going on for the week for different percentages off based on the product category. So I just purchased her concealer, and I am going to apply some of that underneath my eyes here. And I'm going to use the Kitten Paw brush from BK Beauty. It's the collab with Angie Hot and Flashy. It is, as far as I'm concerned, the perfect concealer brush because of the way that it just sort of fits right in this crook on the inner corner of your eye. So I just purchased this concealer. This is really the first time I'm using it on a makeup look. Haven't really had much of an opportunity to test it in terms of longevity. But just wanted to see how it would look tonight with these different looks. And I'm just going to pat that to make sure that I don't have anything settling into my under eyes. And now let me work in this side. This is definitely a thicker consistency than the concealer I'm accustomed to. In this Forest Savings event, I picked up the Tower 28 Serum Concealer, and that is a thinner consistency. I've also been using quite a bit the Pat McGrath concealer, and that is a favorite. But this is definitely thicker, which I have to admit I'm a little bit less comfortable with in terms of the way it's going to wear. So I'm just tapping that in a bit. And I'm just tapping in that eyeliner too. Okay, so from there, I am going to use my Natasha Denona Powder Foundation. I did pick up a refill for this off of her site as a part of her Black Friday sale. So you can change out the powder component, and then it flips up, and underneath here is where you have your puff. So I'm going to apply some of this and try not to overdo it here because I do have some other complexion products that I'm going to use. So the nose here. As I'd said in a previous video, I love this for, quick on the go. You don't want to have to fuss with multiple products. Since this is a powder foundation, you can, use this instead of applying powder or foundation and then powder. And I do find that it is blurring. Now, I don't have any sunscreen on tonight since we're just sort of playing. And the sunscreen that I use also acts as a primer. And that is the Supergoop Unseen Sunscreen. I don't really like the way that this performs over that. So I would just say that if you want to use this product, I suggest you use it over a sunscreen that acts more like a moisturizer, and maybe just a sunscreen that you're using as both your sunscreen and your moisturizer. So work that in. Okay, and now switching to Pat McGrath, I am going to use her bronzer, and I believe this is called Naked Honey. And I'm trying to find a good brush for that. One of the brushes that I picked up from BK Beauty is the Nikki LaRose brush, and I totally forgot to look to see which side is for cream and which is for powder, so we're just going to go for it. So I'm just picking some of this up, and I'm going to place this really sort of on the cheekbones. Both sides. This is the most sort of neutral color from her line of bronzers, which is what I wanted since I plan to use this really as a contour. And I'm going to put a little bit underneath my chin and along my jawline. And down my neck. And I am going to work a little bit into my hairline. Definitely don't want to overdo this. Okay, just along the top here. And now that we have that on, I'm going to pick up my Pat McGrath blush. Now, this is a product that has two blushes and one highlight. I just grabbed it so that I could use the Divine Rose blush here because that is one of her probably most popular blush shades. And I'm sure you can buy this just in the single pan, much like the bronzer. So I'm going to tap that off a little bit and pat that over top of the bronzer. With another of my BK Beauty brushes. I believe this is the 109. Okay, so got that on, and as a final step, I wanted to apply a little bit of lipstick from Pat McGrath. And when I say a little bit of lipstick, I mean like a little lipstick. This is a a mini that I got. I think this is called Nude Venus. And it's, of course, available in a full size. So I'm going to pop this on. And I love the feel of this lipstick. It is so soft. It really feels like a balm as opposed to a lipstick. So it is so comfortable and moisturizing. Okay, and I think that's it. These are the looks. So again, we've got the two eye looks here. One having gold in it, also with that VR Sextasy, which has sort of the plum and the blue shift. And then over on this side, we really focused on silver. So depending on what your evening or party look is and your metallic preference, you could try one of these looks for your next night out. I hope you've enjoyed tonight's video, and please like and subscribe so you don't miss future uploads. Thanks. Bye.